Hello everyone, I'm the Connoisseur, and this is my thoughts on the Season 6 premiere. I'd like to quickly apologize for not uploading this as early as I could. The reason why is because of the fact that when I first recorded this, I actually already recorded this last night, the video lagged and basically my mouth wasn't matching up with the audio. And I had no idea why, but I rearranged what things I was plugging in where, and basically I just set it up so that my webcam and my microphone, my Snowball, which is over here, are plugged into my laptop directly and not the splitter that I have, and it seems to be working. So, welcome to my thoughts on the premiere. I'm going to try and have video evidence of the scenes that I bring up in the top right corner for you. For me, I'm actually on the left side. It's mirrored as of the moment being. So we will get right to it. I would like to say that this episode was a really good episode. It was a very strong premiere. I have to say it's probably number 2 or number 3 in terms of my top favorites. The reason being is because I judge my episodes based on 4 things. Animation, and I don't just mean the fact that they animated it, obviously. I mean something that goes above and beyond. In this case, it would be the crystal heart itself and the beacon of basically light, of energy, when all of the Crystal Empire gave its love, and we've seen that before with Sombra. So the animation definitely did have things that made it go above and beyond. Secondly, I judge it on character development, and in this case, Twilight, Starlight, and even Sunburst, even though he was introduced as a new character, he still gained character development in the episode itself because he learned a lesson. He learned basically to tell the truth from the beginning and not dance around it. And that helps a character. That helps a character grow. And Starlight, first off, not only learned basically the lesson of giving friendship a chance again and bonding with somebody again and trying hard, she also basically just learned a method of doing it. Twilight is the one who basically learned this new method. And ironically, like Spike said, the method is the one that Twilight's been doing. When Celestia was teaching her, she sent her off to Ponyville by herself to make friends and learn these lessons pretty much by herself. And perhaps that's a lazy explanation of why we don't see Celestia as much, because it's on purpose. Celestia is leaving Twilight to learn the lessons of friendship on her own. Nonetheless, Spike bringing it up to Twilight, saying, you know, maybe the list isn't a good idea, maybe letting her find her own way of learning lessons is good. And I enjoy that they did a continuity and they made a really great comparison, and I like that, because that is a moral, sort of, like, you know, not, while planning ahead is good, sometimes being free in how you do things is also good, and I like that. Now, the way that the moral, which I just basically said the morals were, in terms of how they progressed throughout the premiere, it was alright. You know, obviously they had to sort of stretch it because it's a 2-parter, but they did a good job doing it. The only thing I'm going to criticize a little is the scene where Applejack, Rarity, Rainbow Dash, and Fluttershy were all trying to get the people of the Crystal Empire to leave. That scene seemed a little filler to me because it could have really been removed and no one would have minded it. And, you know, it was really a back and forth, right? It was basically them saying, you need to go, we're here to stay, you need to really go, we really want to stay. And it got repetitive until Shining Armor basically said, no, you need to go, and they finally listened to him, because in the Crystal Empire, he's, you know, a big deal. He's a royal authority. Now, in terms of some other things that I felt were a bit shaky, there were a lot of moments of obliviousness, and I didn't like that at all. I don't think a lot of people liked it. Firstly, I'm going to try and go in order here, is with Starlight and Twilight at the beginning, when Twilight basically mentions the possibility of rekindling the friendship of Sunburst. You could tell that Starlight had a panic attack there. She was hearing white noise. It was unbelievable. I felt so bad for her. And the problem is that even though Twilight said something along the lines of, I know how you feel, she basically immediately turned back on that and just went against it. And that's bad, because Twilight's a leader. She's supposed to be a leader. She needs to have a keen eye on things and not just let things be. She has to, like, be more comforting, like Spike was in the episode. But I really didn't like that. And I'm sure that a lot of you didn't like that either. The fact that Twilight wasn't really doing much to comfort Starlight. And I know that she says at the end of the episode, I wish I could be there for her, but, you know, it's on the verge of too little too late, but even though it ended well, it still is on that line. The next part of obliviousness was with Spike, obviously, when he began telling Starlight the story of how he saved the Crystal Empire. And what I really don't like is that Spike beforehand had in his mind to do this, to set out to help Starlight, and Starlight manipulated him, which, yes, is a fault on Starlight's part, but he fell for it. He was so determined to help her, and then he just sidetracks, and I didn't like that. And even though he stopped sort of midway and said, we really have to go, basically, it's just the fact that he did it in general. It's it's minor, but at the same time, being oblivious is not a good thing. You gotta acknowledge the world around you and realize what to do in a situation. And sidetracking to talk about your own story not only seems selfish, but doesn't get the job that you're trying to accomplish done. But to say some good things, I like Flurry Heart, okay? Not just the cute design. Yes, she's cute. She's adorable. She, just even like, her destroying the castle and flying around is adorable. It is a cute design. And I hope that they do use her more, because I don't want to see her at the finale. I want to see her midway through the season. And I like the scene in the library where she was flying around. I liked all the little antics that were happening. You could consider that filler as well, but in the sense it wasn't, because they really had to find the book. I know that I said this in my reaction highlights, but it is true. Even though it just so happens that the book wasn't the only spell needed, nobody thought to get a book to fix to basically fix the book. Nobody either thought of a spell or sought to find a book to find a spell to fix a book. Basically, there's gotta be a spell to fix a book, and that's gotta be much easier to find than a spell to fix the Crystal Heart. It was just a little bit like, everybody was like, their minds were probably like, thinking of something else, obviously, because no one even brought it up. I don't know if the writers took that into account. Like, oh, what if there's a spell to just fix a book? That's got to exist, right? It's just a little bit, I'm a little upset on that. Another thing, actually, brought up by Jerry Pete, for those of you who I watch his In Whatever Minutes, something that makes 100% valid sense is Starlight not disabling Flurry Heart's magic. In the season 5 premiere with the village, we see that obviously it wasn't the Staff of Sameness, it was her magic that was able to disable Pony's magic, basically, with the whole equality thing. Why didn't she do it to Flurry Heart so that she would be weaker and not be able to teleport or fly? It really, I can't excuse them for that, because they had to have thought of that, and they had to have just said, we'll have to let it slide and just hope nobody notices. That is a big deal, because even if she feels shameful for using it and reminding her of the village, in this case, that would have been very helpful, and it would have prevented a lot of damage. It could have even prevented the Crystal Heart. Yes, it would have prevented the episode from happening, so they had to not use it in this case. But, I'm not going to say it's bad writing, but it's bad to not even bring it up or something, and there's no way she forgot the spell. So, that I would actually like to hear your thoughts on. If you never thought of what I just said regarding the spell, please tell me what you think of that, because that is a pretty revolutionary thought. Again, Flurry Heart and Celestia and Luna basically participating was very nice, of course. A lot of people are praising Celestia and Luna for doing something. I mean, they have done sort of before, but not much, and this was a big part for them. A little thing, I like Twilight Sparkle's parents talking, of course. I said that in the reaction highlights. I think a lot of people like that. Other than that, I believe that that's really my thoughts. Good episode. Again, 9 out of 10. There are moments of obliviousness. There are moments that I think the writers chose to forget purposely. And there were also lots of good moments, and I am more than accepting of Flurry Heart and Starlight into the new slew of characters of MLP. So, I'm the Connoisseur. I thank you for your time. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on the season, and I would love to reply to them, because I really enjoy having discussions with you all. I'd also like to quickly say I am overjoyed that I've been getting, for me, a lot of subscribers. It's been the past 2 weeks, I've been getting like 2 or 3 a day, and for me that's great, because there was like a whole month where I didn't really get much before then. I don't know what I've been doing, but apparently you've been liking it. I don't know if it's the poem arts, I don't know what it is, but I'm just glad you're here to stay, and you're here to see what I have to offer. So, I thank you for your time, I thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't, like I said, make sure to, if you want to keep up to date on both synopsis, episode, reaction highlights, my thoughts, and just random things that I decide to make. Bye-bye.